Intuitive eating is a self-care eating framework designed in 1995 by two registered dietitians named Evelyn Tribole and Elise Resch. So they've had over 25 years to kind of vet this system, right? 25 years to research and review intuitive eating. So it's an evidence-based model, meaning it is backed by science. So when I tell you about all of the better health outcomes from intuitive eating compared to alternative styles of eating, you can be sure that the information has been proven by years of research, okay? So to determine if intuitive eating is right for you, I put together kind of a quick assessment, and I will present to you some statements, and you can just see if they resonate with you or not, okay? So here they are. I track calories, points, or macros. I stress about how every food choice might affect my weight. I reflect on my food intake at the end of the day, then conclude whether it was a good or bad day based on how clean I ate or how much willpower I exercised. I restrict my food, then binge eat. I believe that carbs will make me gain weight. I get mad at myself for eating something unhealthy. I believe I'll gain weight if I eat too late in the evening. I have forbidden foods I don't allow myself to eat. If I eat a high calorie food, I try to find a way to make up for it. I sometimes wonder if I'm addicted to food. I cannot control myself around food. So if you nodded your head yes to any one of these questions, even one, then intuitive eating is right for you. And I'm going to give you today kind of your first steps to breaking out of this food prison. So if you nodded your head yes to even one of those statements that I presented to you, then you have what's called diet mentality. So all of these beliefs and behaviors are very common in diet culture. Most of us were, if you were raised in America, most of us were raised steeped in diet culture. So these beliefs and behaviors are nothing to be ashamed of. They are beliefs and behaviors that disappear once you embrace your intuitive eater. Okay, so the intuitive eating is essentially the epitome of a healthy relationship with food. So as you begin to explore for yourself what it means to arrive at a healthy relationship with food, you have to first consider your alternatives. If not intuitive eating, what are my options? Your most popular option in America is dieting, aka disordered eating, which can increase the likelihood of developing an actual clinical eating disorder by as much as 18 times. So perhaps you've tried every diet under the sun and you still feel like a failure, which you're not, which I'll get to in a few minutes. But if you do not consider yourself a dieter but have diet mentality, right, if you nodded your head yes to any of those statements earlier, then this information applies to you today. One thing we absolutely must know when it comes to intuitive eating versus dieting, right? If I'm not an intuitive eater, then I'm in diet mentality. And I need to know that 95% of diets fail. And this is the low end. It's more like 95 to 99.9%, okay? So the research shows that at least 95% of diets fail, and fail just means that they don't result in weight loss, right? Because we enter into diets for the sake of weight loss. So if diets don't work, then they do not result in weight loss. But in fact, one of the strongest predictors though of weight gain is dieting. So not only are you not getting weight loss, you're actually getting the opposite of what you're entering into a diet for. How is this the case? So the restriction that's inherent in dieting is going to force the human body into starvation mode. And even if you don't think that you are restricting yourself, if you align with any of those beliefs I described earlier, like I think carbs are bad for me, I can't eat past 6 p.m., I eat only clean foods, I watch what I eat, I'm watching my weight, then there is restriction. And there is probably physical and mental restriction. And all of these are going to have the same negative health outcomes, okay? So the restriction inherent in dieting forces the human body into starvation mode. In this mode, the body instinctively stores more fat and it begins to eat away at your muscle. Okay, so it stores fat because it's not getting sufficient energy through food. So it doesn't know when it's going to get enough of what it needs again, so it's going to hold on to everything that it has. This is your body's response to famine. This is the human body's response to starvation, and thank goodness, right? It's keeping us alive. So we're storing more fat, we're eating away at our muscle because we're not getting the energy we need through food, so our body looks inward and it says, well, what do I have that I can use for energy? It starts to eat away at your muscle, and the less muscle you have, the slower your metabolism is. So diets are slowing your metabolism. So this is damaging your body's ability to burn calories in both the short and the long term. So the long-term inefficacy of diets is undeniable. So much so that weight loss dieting does not meet the criteria for evidence-based medicine. I mean, would you take medicine that was ineffective 95% of the time? So we know that diets don't work. In fact, diets result in weight gain rather than weight loss, okay, because they promote fat storage. So not only that, but dieting is simply unsustainable. There is not a single long-term study that shows that dieting is sustainable. 2/3 of people who diet regain more weight than they lost within 2 to 5 years, if not way sooner. The human body physically cannot survive on a diet. It's designed to pump out biological signals like neurotransmitters and hormones that are guaranteed to end in loss of control eating. So your brain is going to send you signals that say, I'm hungry. You're going to start to have intense cravings. You're going to start to have food obsessions, right? And there are going to be probably other negative side effects. I've heard of people passing out, becoming lightheaded, right? This is your body trying to get your attention. And then when it finally gets your attention, when you're like, okay, enough already, I'll eat. It's not just like normal eating, like peaceful eating, right? It's out of control eating. It's binge eating. It's a pendulum swing, right? That's what Christy Harrison, registered dietitian and master in public health, she talks about this pendulum swing where it's like, you know, if I am on one end, restrict, right? Then I'm not just gonna like peacefully be able to like swing back to the middle and be fine. No, I'm knocking all the way over to the other side, ending in a binge, right? You're just going from one extreme to the other. So and this is happening then, you guys, because of your biology, right? Your body is begging you to get out of famine. It's begging you to get out of starvation mode. So your inability to maintain a diet has nothing to do with willpower and self-control. And it has everything to do with your body just doing its job and keeping you alive. Okay? So besides binge eating and chronic overeating, other common side effects of restrictive eating include emotional eating, food addiction, quote unquote, sugar addiction, quote unquote, bloating, gas, fatigue, brain fog, headaches, fainting, acid reflux, constipation. Compared to non-dieters, dieters are going to have higher triglycerides, higher blood pressure, higher depression, anxiety, and body dissatisfaction, okay? And what's more, dieting is synonymous with weight cycling, which is the yo-yo of gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, and just back and forth, okay? Weight cycling in and of itself leads to an increased risk of heart disease and higher mortality from all causes. So if we know that this is our alternative to intuitive eating, then that means that intuitive eating is a respite for anyone at war with food and their body. Intuitive eaters have a self-care eating framework. Okay, they don't have to rely on a diet and a set of food rules and restrictions. They have better health outcomes than individuals who engage in dietary control and restraint, Research shows that intuitive eaters have higher self-esteem, higher self-confidence, higher resting metabolic rates, greater well-being optimism, higher HDLs or good cholesterol, and higher life satisfaction. So if not intuitive eating, what is your alternative? Doesn't look good, right? So if you want to learn more about intuitive eating and further your understanding and your education around this, you can head to mariascrementi.com/free-training and attend my free workshop, and that'll get you guys on the right path. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day.